All right, we just got done filming our very first episode of Heartland Waterfowl's Behind the Blind. I know you don't know what that is, but guess what? It's something that is new and it's coming to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. We're going to be doing it after every single hunt of every single trip here moving forward. So basically what this is taking you a little bit inside and behind the scenes of what's going on with Heartland Waterfowl on the road. When we're all back at the lodge after we're hunting, and typically when the cameras are off, we're having ourselves a cocktail, we're watching the footage, and we're seeing what we did good, what we could do better, and now you're gonna get to see it. Tonight, Joe, Logan, and I, along with Nate, discuss our favorite moments from the last 10 years because we are now beginning the production of Heartland Waterfowl Season 10 on Sportsman's channel. So we're gonna talk about some of our favorite moments over the last 10 years. We're gonna be talking about some new sponsors that we've got, and we're gonna be talking about the hunts that we're gonna be doing here this week while we're in North Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Heartland Waterfowl's Behind the Blind.
Well, this is a really cool moment because this is the very first episode of Behind the Blind on the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. This is going to be something new that we're going to be bringing after every single hunt of every single trip that we go on. And this, what will be season 10, guys.
Crazy.
Can you believe it?
10
season
years.
10.
And now we're just doing this.
Unreal.
It only took 10 years.
I know.
Thought it was supposed to get easier, not harder.
Exactly. So we're actually just got up here to North Dakota, and we just got done scouting, having a little bit of dinner, and we're doing kind of a dry run of how this is going to go. So basically what this concept is with Behind the Blind is, you know, every time we go on the road and we film these hunts, when we get back to the lodge, you know, we get a little dinner, we have a little cocktail, and we sit around the TV and we look at the footage that we shot from the hunt that day, and we kind of review what we did, what we did right, what we did wrong, and maybe even give each other a little bit of grief and
What
kind
sucked and what didn't suck.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Who missed what shot or who missed what single. What do we always say? Roll the footage back. Roll the footage back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Roll the footage back.
So this is something that we're going to be bringing to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel this season, in the first season of the Behind the Blind on the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel, in addition to the second original series or second season of the original series.
For the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, for the YouTube stuff. So, but really excited about season 10 that's going to be coming out on Sportsman's channel. And,
10's a milestone, right? Would that be a milestone?
I think
It's a
it
decade,
is.
right?
Right? Like 10's like it is a decade. You are correct. It's definitely a decade, yes. But
Nate Meyer, everybody.
I'm thinking more like metaphorically, like 10 years, that's a milestone.
So think about the last 10 years. What is, like, Joe, I'll start with you. What is like one of the of 10 years that you've been involved with Heartland Waterfowl, what's the biggest highlight?
Oh, man.
Smoking the mallard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk about that hunt all the time. That was like the first year or second year, like whenever y'all were doing the pilot or whatever, and we had that field up there, and it snowed so heavy, and you wrecked your truck, and like we were just hustling, and we were set up probably like 120 yards from where they were roosting.
Wasn't far.
Like, because they were tucked in right against that heavy bank, and the wind was howling. It was snowing like a son of a gun.
Right.
And they just came up off that water, crested that edge, and they were just coming right to us, dude. Every flock just beelining, and it was good. But that audio clip of "We are smoking
the mallards,"
I mean, that was awesome. It was awesome. But just to
You couldn't wait to do 10 more seasons.
dude, yeah. I was like, give me 10 more years of this, dude. Yeah. Pump this into my veins. Give me 10 more years of this.
Exactly.
And now we're here 10 years later, and it's like, we gonna do this again this year, or what are we doing here, boys? Let's get after it again. Let's get after it again. Let's get it going. But it's crazy. It's like every year leading up to it, you know, you get halfway through the summer, you hit 4th of July, and then it's like, all right, it's August 1st. It's like, dude, we're gonna be goose hunting in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it's like,
yeah, it's August 25th.
and it's like, dude, it's on, and the butterflies start coming back, the anxiety, all the jitters start coming back.
Adrenaline. It's called adrenaline.
Yeah. For opening day for us, the season's been open a week, I guess, here already, but
Right.
for us, you know, tomorrow's our opening day, you know, for season 10, and it's just crazy to think about.
We're going to talk about here in a little bit what we got set up for tomorrow morning's hunt. Logan, what's your like most memorable moment from the last 10 years?
How on earth do you pick one?
Well, what's the first one that comes to mind?
The only one that comes to mind right now is because we watched it on the way up here. We went through like all the Canada episodes from on the way up here, and we were watching them, and that snowy mallard hunt.
Yeah, I'm so jealous, dude. Like, I'm so jealous
we
about.
were talking about that one over and over after we watched, 3 or 4 of the old Canada hunts. But I mean, regardless of how the hunting was, I mean, name one that was bad, right? Name a trip that you went on that was bad. There's not one of those, right?
Well, there's a couple. That one time in Oklahoma was pretty bad.
Actually, I'll tell you the worst hunt.
That one time in
I'll tell you the best.
That one time in Oklahoma was pretty bad.
Was season 2, season 3, North Dakota.
Oh, when it was like
14.
70
We were just talking about this.
It was 80 degrees.
Yeah.
I was just telling Mike about this.
We used our full 14
2
days
weeks,
of license, and I think I should like as a group we
26
shot,
ducks?
Like 26 ducks.
I remember
Mostly were
miserable.
shovelers, too.
Absolutely miserable.
I remember the day we left was like November 10th that
Miserable.
year.
Yeah,
And it
Veterans
was-
Day, we had that.
It was 71 degrees November 10th.
the
Like unbelievable.
worst, craziest thing I've ever seen here in North Dakota.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I can't just pick one. I mean, it's
No,
so hard to pick one moment.
I'm not saying
trip,
it's your
any of that.
favorite. I'm just saying what's the first one that comes to the snowy mallard hunt in Canada.
Just because I watched it today. I mean,
Gotcha.
I mean, any of the snow goose hunts in Canada. Really, any of it. I
Yeah.
love going to shoot cranes. I love shooting
Now,
big geese
I'll tell you.
underwater.
I'll tell you one that sticks
Mallards
out.
in a cornfield.
I'll tell you the one that really sticks out, and I'm not just biased, but that one year when y'all were down at my place and we found all those pintails and mallards.
Five
in
land
that,
and holding,
That
by
was
the way.
fun.
when we found all those mallards
Yep.
and pintails in that flooded Milo.
One of the coldest
remember
hunts
that?
I've ever had.
I mean, it was
in Texas.
It was negative 4 degrees
Mhm.
in Texas, January 2nd. We busted ice, and we don't get ducks like that where I'm at unless everything is perfect. We got to have the water in the fall, the cold fronts in the winter to really push them all down. And that year it was like the perfect storm, and that was the last time we hunted ducks
The
there,
last-
right? You
the
know what I
only
mean? That was
time.
right.
the
out
last
of
year. The
8
limit
years?
was 2.
Yeah, the last year
the pintail limit.
pintail
was 2.
limit was still 2 then.
Yep.
That's right. And that's why we took advantage of it. We were like, dude, this might be the last year we get to shoot 2 pintails. And
Yep.
since then it has been there. It's only been one since then.
To offer a little clarity, Joe's talking about his place in West Texas
Right.
with Five Land and Holding, where we're typically down there to shoot
Just to
sandhill
shoot
cranes.
cranes. Yeah.
But they came across this, like you call it a pond,
It was just a little playa lake, we call them. Playa.
but these weren't just pintails.
Just a little playa.
Because Joe could not stop saying magnums.
Huge,
These are
dude. Hey, huge.
magnums.
Hey, you remember?
See
you
their
remember?
tail?
You remember?
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
like
for sure.
whenever we were filming, it's like unless his like tail was long enough that it was fluttering in the wind.
Yeah.
We was like, all right, we're not going to shoot that one. Let's let
that's-
him go. He's only 2-year-old.
Not a booner.
We're looking for. Look, we're looking
He's not
for
mature.
We're looking for 4 to 5-year-old.
We're looking for mature pintails.
Right.
Nate, what's your favorite or most memorable in the last 10 years?
I wouldn't say one hunt in particular, but the trip when we hit the cold front just right, North Dakota.
Oh yeah, when it was super cold here.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
big
you shot
time.
your
Just talking
tarso.
about
When
that
he
right
shot-
now.
yeah.
We were talking about that today,
Yeah.
When
too.
he shot that tarsal
we
band.
talked about that.
How you
on
shot
the,
all
on the
those?
way back.
Pull your
Remember?
microphone a little
So
closer.
you shot all those snogies that day.
All
and
the
you were
bluegies.
Blues.
All
yeah,
the bluegies.
and we made you clean them all because none of us
You
shot
were,
any.
you were filming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and anytime you could take
That's
about
right,
a
you were
25
filming.
to 30 yard
That's why.
high
Passing
shot.
shot.
It was
Yeah.
like a passing shot.
He was
Right?
trying to shoot all
Just
the
that
blues.
nice little right to left.
And I mean, you
Right over the
literally
top.
were right close to your limit. And the only reason we weren't shooting them is because it was
We didn't wanna
negative
clean
10
them.
degrees, and we had to
We didn't wanna clean
birds
them.
outside. We didn't want to clean them.
Well,
We
we
were
were
staying in a
hunting all
hotel.
day. We were hunting all day, and by the time we
literally-
were going to clean them, it was going to be even colder that night.
And we were
Yeah.
staying in that
could've shot
shitty
a
hotel.
Yes.
Oh, it was terrible.
We could have shot a limit.
yeah. Oh,
Guaranteed.
easy.
No problem.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
Because they didn't shift at all when we shot it.
That hotel
I mean, the
sucked.
mallards, yeah.
But most memorable from that though was that Sunday when we got in and all them honkers coming out of Canada. That steady line.
Yeah.
That first
Yeah.
day we scouted, and it
Oh,
was
down
just,
in that bottom.
yeah,
Mhm.
below the lake.
Remember
Well,
we took.
all day long.
Remember
we scouted
uh,
all day. We did a full day scout, and it was literally if you couldn't see a bird coming from the north all
Right.
day, there was something wrong. And then I mean that might have been one of the biggest migration days
Right,
I've ever
for
seen.
sure.
For,
Yeah.
for Canada geese,
Right,
anyways.
because it just got super cold up in Canada and pushed them all down. And I remember we hunted that bottom that day, and it was you got permission, and you were
Yep.
so pumped. You're like, guys,
We
I
were
just-
struggling to find
right?
birds.
I know. You're like, I got us. You're like, we are in. We got us, and it was right there on the river bottom. And we were worried about not being able to get permission because it was opening weekend at rifle season.
Well, that was the crazy thing because
Right.
he said if you're going to hunt it, you have to hunt it today.
because
And then I left to go scout, and you guys finished the hunt that afternoon,
Right.
and then you went back and to get permission.
Right.
He let us come back the next morning.
right. But one of the most epic pictures, in my opinion, that we have is the picture we took that day where we stacked all those geese on that old Oliver combine in that tree row with all the
Jumbos,
cottonwoods. Like that's like, in my opinion, that's one of my favorite pile picks that we've ever taken.
Big birds too.
Oh, giants. Yeah, we
It
stacked them
also
all.
helped that we used the 14 double M.
Yeah. Hey, that 14 double M still rocks, dude. I still use that. That
So-
wide angle, baby.
One of my favorite moments in the last 10 years didn't even make it on television. And to this day, and you guys are going to make fun of me because you know snow geese is not my favorite, but in this particular hunt that I'm talking about, we came up to Saskatchewan for the very first time. Logan brought us up, and we shot 120 snow geese in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That was our pilot episode.
I have yet to be on a snow goose hunt, by the way, that's anything remotely close to that.
It was
so,
incredible.
Yeah.
He acts like he hasn't been invited.
That is true.
I'm usually pretty busy the time y'all, every year y'all go to Canada, I'm usually pretty tied up here guiding. So
Well, there was just so much stress that was involved with trying to get that pilot episode, and we
Oh, I
were out
know.
there trying to scout, trying to figure out our way and how this was going to work. And then when we got into that hunt and they just kept coming and coming and coming, we were like, okay, this is going to work, and we might finally have a TV show.
I remember also watching like those clips from that hunt. Like the one morning y'all were in Canada and you had like the most epic sunrise. You were looking right into it.
That was the next year.
Right, where y'all were hunting like
Yeah.
super
Season
close to
2.
the roost. But
That was season 2. You're right. That was
right,
season
but
2.
it was like an
Purple lighting.
epic
Yes,
sunrise.
that was another great snow
and they
geese.
were coming
the
right.
hay bales in
Yeah,
the
what
field.
was the name of that episode? We were trying to find that one.
Sky's the limit or
No,
something.
it wasn't Sky's the
wasn't.
Limit.
I
We
promise you it
watched
wasn't
that
Sky's the
one.
Limit.
We watched that one.
I don't remember what we
That's an
called
inside joke, by the way.
that. Maybe O Canada or Maple Leaf. Maybe it was Maple Leaf.
Maple Leaf,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
so. Yeah, but I just remember that, like
I
that
re-
one clip, like the whole roost got up and the sunrise was just
So-
epic, and they're coming right towards y'all.
I remember that. Okay, so we hunted that field, and the next morning we hunted the next field to the west.
Yeah, it was like a
It
quarter
just-
mile away.
The bird just bumped over, like, all right, we'll just go over here again. And I remember when we scouted that field, me and Champlin were getting ready to leave town, and we're going out west, and we're kind of running late. And we literally count like 15 or 16 trucks just start taking beeline
Oh,
down the
yeah.
highway going west. And literally, we're driving out west, and we literally made it a quarter mile. We can still see the hotel. And Champlin looks off to the north, and he goes, I just see birds go down right there. Literally just right a mile over the hill. We could have scouted them from the hotel room. And all these trucks just go
Going
right
miles,
by
miles,
them, had
miles,
no
miles,
clue.
miles. Yeah.
And we're like,
Right.
well, this is the easiest thing we've done.
Right, right.
I remember that. Yeah, that was good.
But I always remember that clip from that episode. Like it was just a crazy, crazy sunrise y'all had that morning, and
Yeah.
they were just coming.
and the clouds were really
Right.
low, and it was
Right.
windy, and the wind and the clouds were just blowing through. That was really good. Yeah,
Right.
that was awesome.
But anyway, let's talk about what we got going on
Yeah.
this week in season 10. Let's stop.
Yeah.
We
What
can
are we doing-
reminisce.
what are
We
we
can
doing
reminisce
tomorrow?
all night long, but
What are we doing tomorrow? You saw the field, right? Nate?
Yeah, we could have.
So what are we doing tomorrow?
I don't know. Tired. Hunting a wheat field in between alfalfa. It's the same field we hunted for the first day.
How many
last-
birds were in there?
First day last
150.
year we hunted it,
Yeah, we're in
but we hunted down in like a bottom, right?
Yeah, we hunted on
So
the
we're
slough.
hunting kind of up on top.
We'll be up on
and
the
it's
hill.
stripped, right? The field's stripped this year, so alfalfa, wheat strips.
Mm-hmm.
we shot a band that night.
We did.
They
Yeah, we did.
bailed. They bailed it.
The alfalfa's bale. There's bales in the
So,
alfalfa.
so we have kind of. We're not going to hide by the hay bales, but we're going to hopefully
You'll be able to edge them.
look like a hay bale with the A-frames, right?
Should be able to. I would think. From what Cody and everybody said, there's just big stacks of hay bales all through the field, and rather than maybe set up right next to a big stack, if we put 3-4 A-frames out there in the middle, then we might make your own stack. It's going to be
we're going to be the 3 stacks of high society.
right. Exactly.
That-
They were
that
4
actually-
stacks.
That actually brings up an interesting point, because I was talking about this with Cody's dad, Mike, earlier tonight, and they, opening weekend, basically went up and set up A-frames right in the middle of the field
Right.
with grass that they had on it from the year before.
Right.
And just completely smashed them. So there are some people who just absolutely despise the idea of setting up A-frames right in the middle of the field. Some people feel like you can only do it on the edge. What's your opinion on that?
You can definitely do it. Put them in the middle of the field, but I think
60% of the time every time.
every day. I think the biggest issue whenever you do something like that, when you set up in the middle of the field, is your shadow.
Yeah, that's
Or your backdrop too.
Like
You can't be on the crown of the
you don't want to
can't
be
be
on the
silhouetted.
crown of the
You
hill.
can't
You
be
don't,
shadowed.
you don't want to be
Background.
silhouetted. But if you're casting a big shadow in front of you between the blind and the decoys, or maybe the shadow is casting on some of your decoys, that I think it just totally kills your chances because they see that obviously, right? Like
It's not natural.
It's not natural at all. You know, they see a 30-foot shadow casting across not only where they maybe potentially want to land or what they're trying to look at, but if you're going to set up in the middle of the field and you might not have hay bales or any kind of cover, or if you're going to do that and you're in that kind of situation, then you really need to pay attention to where your shadow is going to cast. And maybe what you need to do instead of, you know, putting your blind and your decoy set up to where you're going to have a full frontal shot the entire way, set up for that side shot, or maybe a caddy corner.
Quartering shot.
Like a corner, right. But always be aware of your shadow if you're trying to set up in the middle of a field and your silhouette. You don't, like Nate said, you don't want to be.
the edges, though, too. You don't want a shadow on your
Right, exactly. But, you know, at least like with an edge, you know, if you're trying to edge them or you're on a fence line or something, there might be other things that are casting shadows at certain times of the day on that field. Rather, when you're trying to just set up right in the middle, you know, you just got to be really wary of where your shadow is going to cast. Is, I think, the biggest thing.
Well, let me ask this then. Do you think that, obviously we're always complaining about wind.
For sure.
Right? And while we're here, we're going to have light winds in the morning and strong winds in the afternoon.
Right.
So does that have an impact on whether or not you're going to set up in the middle field if you got a variable wind?
Man,
If you could figure out these early season geese, I think you would see.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
right. That's like asking, why is the sky blue? You know what
But
I mean?
I
Like,
think you would see a bunch of trucks driving around, and you don't, because it's a difficult thing to do. It's a really difficult thing to do.
but yeah, like if I don't know, man, it's a catch-22.
I mean,
You know,
regardless
one day you're right,
of
one
the
day you're
fact
wrong,
that it's
but-
early season geese, I'm
but
just
too,
saying.
But on days when you have no wind, right? You know, say birds are trying to finish coming over your left shoulder or your right shoulder. To anybody else out there hunting that day, they're going to take those shots. But
a high
obviously for us, it's a lot harder because we're trying to get them right in the kill hole every single time,
Right.
perfectly framed up. And on no wind days, I think we need to take advantage more of the shot opportunities rather than getting the perfect shot, because you're not always going to get the perfect shot. You're not always going to get them to finish in the hole.
Yeah.
You know, and
And we definitely get greedy from
for
time
sure.
to time.
Of course we do. We want, of
But
course,
you have to be, right?
of course,
You
we
have to
want
be.
we want it to look as cheddar cheese as we can possibly get.
Which
it,
is what I'm
you
trying
know?
to tee it up. I'm trying
Right.
to say that, like, tomorrow they may not do that. And
Exactly.
so when
Exactly.
you come and you watch the episode tomorrow morning
Right.
or tomorrow night, you
Right.
know, you might see, hey, they weren't finishing in the hole. We just explained to you the night before that
Yeah.
we might have to be taking those shots that we typically would want them a little closer.
Right.
But they might just give it up too. You
They
know?
might just give it up dirty. Who knows?
Hey, they're just early
Dude,
season geese.
Who knows, dude? You never know. Any morning you go out, we don't know if it's going to be super thick fog tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like especially on these no wind mornings.
Right.
A lot of times when you have no wind, you got a more susceptible chance to have a heavy fog. Especially they've had a lot of moisture up here, a lot of rain. So, you know, and we're getting to the point now where we're getting big temperature fluctuations throughout the day and the night. I mean, it's supposed to get down to 52 degrees tonight, but it's supposed to be 91 tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously whenever you have those temperature changes, you're going to get some fog. And if you don't have the wind to push it out, then we could wake up tomorrow. We might not be able to see our hand.
Yeah.
So,
You know?
so here's the thing Cody and I have been talking about is since we've been coming up here, we have never had a year of consistent weather. So he always jokes like we bring the cold front, right? We either bring the cold front, the rain, whatever the case may be.
Right.
The temperatures go hot, cold, hot, cold. We've never had a span while you're up here, and this year's different. I mean, for sure. We have consistent temperatures. They might not be the best temperatures, but they're the same as they were last week. So theoretically, we shouldn't have birds changing what they're doing.
Hopefully
right?
not. Yeah.
I mean, ideally, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you still have to deal with early season geese. I mean, hell, there's probably geese out there that still can't even fly.
Right.
You
Or just starting to get their flight feathers.
Oh,
Yeah.
On my scout tonight, I was wondering how some of these geese even made it to the field.
So there was some.
Yeah.
We went by
I was like, you look way too young to be flying.
Like the late season goose that's been crippled like 4 times.
Right,
missing all
right,
the
right,
feathers.
when he flies in, it's like that one got shot at 3 times. Like you can tell he got shot at 3 times already this year.
So I got 2 things I want to hit on next. And again, this is just for the sake of having conversation for our viewers. Nate obviously has seen this field. So as we talk about setting up an A-frame in the middle of the field and the shadows and the impact that has and how the wind is going to be a factor in all of that. We have a light wind. I think it's 6 miles per hour, which means it's probably going to be 1 to 2 in the morning. I think it's south to southwest. Nate, how does that set up based on what you saw tonight when you were scouting? I mean, bringing in all the factors with the shadows and setting up the middle field.
Your wheat ran east-west, so you'll just be able to set
So are we edging them, or are we going to be in the middle?
We're going to edge them because they're not very wide.
It's
Okay.
You hunted.
It's not like an edge, but
It goes from alfalfa to wheat.
Yeah.
So you got
Oh,
a
I see.
small.
You're on transition.
Right.
It's a transition, there's hay
It's not a
bales,
fence
there's hay bales
line.
in the alfalfa,
transition,
like,
essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing I was going to hit on then, one of the big popular things that we run into or reoccurring themes that we run into when we're up here is early season geese short stopping us. So now we got all of these variables that are taking place as we talk about wind and shadows and this. Let's talk about calling and, how aggressive or how light, what's your guys' theory or thoughts on, how aggressive you're going to get with calling early season geese?
Super light. I mean,
Yeah, typically.
we don't call
Until you feel like they're going to short stop you and then you get on them
Or,
really hard?
Like if they're going to short stop or if they start to drift to one side and you're trying to pull them back towards the middle or something. But like,
they know you're there.
Right.
You know? Like
if they're coming, let them come. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Let them come. Give them a couple nice little soft
there's
clucks.
right.
no need to overdo anything.
Especially right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because
easy
they're-
peasy.
yeah,
Well,
they're not used to all.
They're not
that
as rowdy in the early
ruckus.
season as they are later in the fall.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
you sit there and watch them at night. They're not making a lot of noise. They're pretty well spread out. You know,
Mhm.
You hear a
Yep,
couple honks, couple moans, and then here comes a group. It's like, and that's
How was that again?
that's exactly how you Stay tuned. You'll hear that exact note tomorrow.
It works. That's a killing note. The old double cluck mode. That's a killing note.
You'll hear it tomorrow night, Joe with the double cluck.
That's right. That's right.
One of the things that we're going to get to do while we're up here, and what's actually one of our favorite things to do while here, is go walleye fishing. And apparently the bite has been really good over the last few weeks. Why don't you kind of reiterate some of the reports you've gotten from Cody?
Cody, you never know. Like it was like, walleyes, and then all of a sudden last week it's like, the walleye bite's phenomenal. I'm like, well, where did that come from?
I asked him 2 weeks ago. I said, "What do you think the walleye are doing?" He goes, "Probably swimming."
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's just lights out.
He got a little inside information.
Yeah.
in
He
it
was like,
now.
"Literally, that was his response.
Go up to
They're
this
probably
lake.
swimming." And then a week later, I get a Snapchat.
Go
It's
right
like
off the grass line.
a tank,
Throw a
live-
night crawler
a
out there.
live well full of
Yeah.
keepers. And it's
Yeah.
like, what happened? But bite turned on, dude. So yeah, hopefully the walleye fishing is going to be good.
You
Hopefully.
got a certain bait you're going to go with?
I'm a Mr. Twister guy.
Okay.
Mr. Twister on a jig head,
Okay.
100%.
A
But
little night crawler tip.
I'm not.
Oh,
So-
yes, you do. Because when you don't have them, you always yell at the other boat that says, "Hey, give me some of those night crawlers."
Okay, but let me rephrase.
He'll be fishing a spinner tomorrow.
I'll be fishing one of them damn bottom bouncers that everybody uses up here. It's the dumbest technique ever. It's like, just drop it down and we're just going to troll for the next 30 minutes and
It's drift.
whatever.
Yeah,
And it's just
drift is
down
the
there
right
doing
word.
its thing. It's like, dude, I want to be
Doesn't have a problem
casting.
doing that with a fly rod in his hand.
Whatever. That's different.
Talk about something dumb.
That's different. That's different. Whatever.
not.
Whatever.
Guys, I was just in Belize.
Yes, he was. He literally was in Belize 24 hours ago.
I'm too good for these walleye.
No, I am not. No, I am not.
I don't catch these cold water
Look,
fish.
I'll put on a bobber and a piece of corn if I have to, dude. I don't care.
We're not trying
I'm
to catch
eating-
a carp.
I'm eating some walleye. But no, he said I'm a Mr. Twister guy for sure. Yeah.
Chartreuse white.
It's just
Single tail, double tail.
single tail.
My dad's a double tail guy.
Nah, single tail. I think.
What about you, Logan?
Same thing. I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of my go-to.
Not to. Well, I'm not changing the subject, but to cut off. But that year we were fishing
Goose.
and we were using the
Cody's.
the white like bass
Yes,
assassin like swim
yes.
bait. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
How can I forget?
Like out of nowhere, I
A
don't know.
28 incher. Out of nowhere, a 32 incher.
I don't know who was like the first one to pick up the little white bass assassin paddle tail on a jig head, but
It outperformed
It changed the
it
entire
was
day.
unbelievable. They were on something white that day, no doubt about it.
Well, you're going to be using Mr. Twister, and old Bass
Mhm.
Assassin is
Right.
going to be there.
Right. But yeah, I mean, of course, you know, obviously we all love to fish. Obviously, it's like our second passion. You know, so anytime, you know, we come up here and have the opportunity to go out catch some pike or catch some walleye, of course we're going to try to capitalize on it and, you know, go have some fun. But-
Mike said he's going to put me on a northern. So I'm excited about that. I've never caught one.
So we were talking about the maple leaf
Episode.
Pull that up. I know you got it. That.
There it is.
That. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's the sunrise right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in a new location, finding the right birds that are willing to cooperate can be a challenge. And once you find
The
the birds
voiceovers
that
were so
are willing to
different back then.
cooperate, you know that you're in for a lot of fun the next couple of days.
That shot. The over the shoulder. Doosh.
That was one of those hunts, like the first flock that came in, you knew it was game over.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, buddy. Barn burner.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Luke
Yeah.
that was retrieving those birds?
Luke.
Oh, Luke.
We've had some dogs, dude.
Yeah.
We've had some dogs. No doubt. Remember Zeus?
We are just
Oh,
having
yeah.
an incredible morning here in our second day in Canada.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Remember Reggie?
That was
Reggie
good.
sucked. Reggie sucked.
Hey, actually,
sucked.
that's a really good point. Actually, we've had Mo, or it's Logan's dog. Mo has been with you for what, last 6 years,
Yeah,
or
6 years now.
and now he's got a sidekick. He got a brand new dog to the Heartland Waterfowl
Buck.
family.
Oh,
Yeah.
Buck joining the party.
Buck from Double T Kennels.
Corey?
He got his master title over the summer. He's a 2-year-old. I'm excied. I really am. He's got some big shoes to fill, right?
No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. He better
100%.
hunt.
But I mean, he's got that British lab, you know.
He's got
and
the look.
He's
He's got the look.
He's probably the
super
smallest
chill,
yellow lab.
Super chill.
Yeah,
Very
And
small. Very small dog.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I'm excited.
but he's
to
got a
see-
motor.
really
Yeah.
excited to see how he does tomorrow.
Yeah,
See how he handles a big goose.
One of them big old greasy summer geese.
it
Big
just smells-
greasy.
feathers.
This ain't no late season goose. He's gonna have feathers on his mouth.
He's
like,
picked up dead birds before, but he's never hunted, right? So it's all been, field trial stuff or competitions or, hunt tests, whatever the case may be. So he'll, be in a dog hut right next to Mo, and, hopefully he can learn a few things while
But
he's here.
dude,
And this is a
big
good
day.
trial run before we come back up here in November and, kick off the rest of the season, more than anything. But yeah, I'm excited to see how he does.
it's all about getting them regular season reps.
Yeah.
Preseason's over, dude. We're into regular season now.
and figuring out how to pick up a
a big old goose.
10,
Yeah.
12, 15-pound goose,
Right.
Right. I mean, we shoot a lot of big geese.
They
That's,
really do.
that's a big thing.
absolutely.
But no, just looking at him today, and he's got the look. He definitely has the look. He's a great looking dog, and man, we just need him to hunt. But tomorrow will be a great.
We just need him to hunt.
We
We
I
just
say it all
need
the
him
time.
to not be
It's
a
like,
Reggie.
dude,
A lot of
If
confidence
you-
in that one.
If you just hunt, you're gonna live the life of a king for the next 10 to 12 years. You just gotta hunt, dude.
No, I really do have confidence that he will. But it's one of those things. Like, this is what 5-6 times I've done this now.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
new dogs.
Right. Right.
Giving dogs back with sponsorships and whatnot. So
Right.
like I've seen it. And that's, I guess I love the Irish British breed. Right.
Big time.
I love that dog,
Mhm.
in my personal opinion, over the American Lab. But there's pros and cons with both.
Sure.
And you have to, learn to teach them what they already don't know from coming overseas,
Mhm.
So, having them figure out something that's completely new, like me and my wife, Haley, always joke around is like, they have no idea how to go up and down stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the most
Yeah.
bizarre thing in the world,
Yeah.
but they have no idea how to go up and down stairs. They are absolutely scared shitless of it.
Yeah.
But what do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-4 days later, they figure it out, and they get the confidence, and that's exactly what it's going to take. By the end of this week, I no doubt in my mind, I think he'll have it.
It was Mo 8 now?
9.
9.
Yeah.
So how many more years do you think he's got
Old
left?
man.
As long as his
Well, I mean,
body-
you're gonna
as
hunt
long-
him.
as
I
long
understand,
as,
but-
as long as his body, not his
Sure.
mind, you know.
But do you see that he's
I'm gonna
slowing
get this
down any?
Copenhagen
Oh,
out of
yeah,
my mouth
for
quick.
Yeah.
It just in the last 5 months, he's doubled the amount of gray. Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you can
dude.
start seeing the kind of the body fat sag a little
Yeah.
bit, you know. And
Got that old brisket in the front.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then okay,
Got that
so
old suede back.
tell me you didn't see Mo and Buck side by side and be like, Mo, you're fat. dude."
No doubt.
tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I promise you, he's not in shape.
Yeah.
Mo,
Well, I couldn't tell. Was it Mo
He's been
or
hanging
is
out
this
with
dog
Sutton and
really
Brady
this
all
small?
summer.
Mo's 65 pounds.
Yeah.
Really?
He's not a big dog.
He's
No.
got thick fur. He's got a thick coat.
Well,
Always
he's-
has.
He's just getting
He's
that,
65 pounds right now.
Yeah, he's getting that flabby skin on him.
Hey, come talk to me when you're 72 years old
My-
and tell me you don't got saggy balls, dude.
Hey, at least he still has his.
Touche.
Touche. Exactly.
But yeah, like I think it's super cool that you got Buck here. But it's, dude, everybody loves having a new dog. Like everybody
Yeah.
loves that. It's like, all right, dude, let's see what he's got this year. Like this is it, you know, this is gonna be my next dog. Like, you know, because as bird hunters, you know, guys that run bird dogs, it's like you always got to be thinking of your next
Step.
dog. Like
Yep.
you don't want to be in a position where, all right, well, this dog can't hunt. We worked him till he was 12 years old,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to get a puppy. It's like we know Mo definitely has a couple good years left in him, and to be able to bring Buck in now and lay the groundwork so that in 2 more years, when Buck's 4 and Mo's 10 or 12, then you're not starting out fresh. Like have your second string guy
Exactly. That's
ready
exactly-
to go. Like
that's why
next
I
man,
said
exactly what I wanted
next
to
man
do.
up. I
And
mean,
it
I
just-
did the same thing with Cheyenne and Millie. You know, I hunted Millie behind Cheyenne for 2 years.
Yeah, at
You
least.
know,
At least.
And it made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, next man up, dude. Like
Right.
first stringer just went down. Mo tore a hamstring or retrieving a goose. You're up, dude. You ready to go or what?
Here comes
Seriously.
here
Time
comes
to go to
Teddy
the bullpen.
Bridgewater.
Here comes Tyrod Smith. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But you need to have, you know, you got to have your, you know, your second string dog ready to roll because you don't want to be behind the 8 ball. Like, damn, dude, Mo's 12 years old. He can't hunt no more. Now I got to get a puppy. Like, now's the perfect time.
Sure.
Yep. Exactly why I wanted to do it. So
Yeah, I think it's a great call.
So one of the things that I want to talk about before we end this first episode, or if it makes it, I think we're going to make it though. I mean, this is going
Gonna make
pretty
it?
well.
We're really
Yeah.
good.
This
We're
was
not
gonna, like, hey, this is going to be a test run. If it
Well,
turns
better
out
be
good,
to
we'll
get me
post
from
it, and
going
if
to
it doesn't,
bed.
we won't. Thanks, Nate.
we're waking up in 4 hours.
One of the things I want to talk about in just a second is, you know, some of the new sponsors that we've got on board for season 10. Before we do that, let's talk about some of the things that we're going to be doing for season 10 that will not only air on Sportsman's channel, but, you know, all of this content that you're going to be able to see on the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. Kind of talk about some of the things that we're going to be doing this season.
You mean like trip-wise?
Yeah.
So Alex drew the emperor goose up in Alaska, so we're going up there.
So jealous.
So
jealous.
So they draw 25 non-resident tags, right?
This is what's crazy.
And
Listen to
He
this.
drew it on the first
Well,
try.
no,
first
not
try,
only that, but listen to this.
3 people in Lee Summit drew.
What?
3 out of the 25.
Yeah,
What
from
are
the
the
same
odds of
town
that?
that he lives in.
So are all 3 of those guys coming on that trip with y'all?
No.
No, but I think they were trying to like put a package deal together. And,
Oh, were they?
well, you know who was trying to, but we'll leave that for a different time.
Shall we?
Yeah. No, we
but
know.
anyway, so we're going up there the day after Thanksgiving. Obviously, shoot the emperor goose, which is just kind of a novelty thing, right? You get one tag, you shoot one bird,
Right.
trying to pick out the best bird you can find.
Once in a lifetime thing, dude.
Yeah, they don't ever get hunted much, so I don't think as far as like difficult to do is it.
And he just shot a badass Harlequin last year.
Yeah, well,
now he's going to have a
okay,
chance to do it again.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
we're
I
gonna
know.
shoot Harlequin, sea ducks, obviously Brant, but we're going back to 5-landed holding to shoot cranes again. We're going back to Tornado Alley a couple times.
Coming back up here in November.
Coming up here in November, like we always do.
High Plains.
High Plains in
High
Wyoming.
Plains in Wyoming again. I mean, pretty well the same stuff we've been. Like, you know, you asked me this question, and we talked about it on your podcast, but it's like, oh, there's the emperor goose
this is
right
what
there.
an
Like,
emperor
that's what they
emperor
look like.
goose.
So
Yeah.
basically, part of the reason, so we went to Cold Bay, 3 years ago now?
Yes.
And we went early October, and it was mainly a brant hunt. Well, with the Emperor Goose Tag, you want to go as late as possible so you know, get the full plumage, right?
Right.
And pick out the most mature bird you can find, the best looking one you can, because it's, I mean, once in a lifetime.
Right.
It's never going to happen again. It's only been open for 3 years, so 75 non-resident tags have ever been drawn. I mean,
And Dyson gets
there's
one.
residents. I think they do 125 or 150 resident tags.
He is the luckiest
So I was gonna
guy.
say some people have all the luck.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
That's badass though. Like I'm super jealous.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yes, there's 75 other people in the lower United States that have one of those on his wall.
One. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
He's that guy.
I know.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Now they're going to add it onto the Grand Slam or whatever, when you shoot all the ducks.
Like the waterfowl slam or
the
whatever.
waterfowl slam, you add it onto it, you know. There's only 75 people that can actually complete it now, right?
Crazy.
So we're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of years, except for that particular hunt to Alaska. There is some opportunities to maybe do some things with some of our sponsors, maybe doing something with lacrosse in the upper Northwest. But this where I guess I will transition or segue into the fact that I'm really excited to announce that Heartland Waterfowl is now partnered with Drake Waterfowl.
Oh, Drake
is our
in the
brand new
house.
apparel sponsor.
Yeah.
And this
go,
came
Drake.
together very, very quick and very, very late. But for those who know in the industry or in the waterfowl space, Jim Rodquist, one of the most notable names and most reputable names in the waterfowl industry.
Shout out Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo, who was with
go way
RNT.
back.
No,
Yeah,
Jimbo,
I
long
was actually
time.
going to ask you. So
Long
before we
time.
get to that, Jimbo was with RNT for many, many years and was actually a producer for RNTV, and then recently took over as the vice president of marketing for Drake Waterfowl. And then Logan and I went up to Rogers over 3 weeks ago, the Rogers in Liberty, Missouri,
waterfowl
for their
weekend over.
waterfowl weekend, and I got to meet with him to talk about the opportunity to partner with them because they licensed the Mossy Oak pattern, which we're sponsored by Mossy Oak. And
Shout out Mossy Oak.
yeah, absolutely. And so we quickly put something together, and he is actually, depending on how the schedules work out, because this is again coming together really quick, but we might be able to go down to Arkansas.
I was gonna say when he
And do
gets Jimbo
something.
to hook us up on one of them honey holes.
Yeah. He said depending on what the water level's like, he could probably put us on the timber. But you actually have a history with Jim.
Yeah, knew him back in the day. A lot of people might know, but my dad and I were very heavy into the contest calling circuit when I was younger. You know, talking 8 to 18 years old, very into the contest calling scene, and spent many years in Stuttgart over Thanksgiving weekend, and I just grew up around all those guys. You know, I remember sitting in the old Rich and Tone shop
Really?
with John Stevens and Butch Richenbeck and Jimbo
Wow.
and Rusty.
And you were how old then?
I was 12, 13.
Wow.
Like, these were the dudes that I was learning how to call from.
Legends.
Right. You know, and now, you know, to come back and see that Jimbo's with Drake, and obviously he's in a great position there, and to potentially have a good partnership with them going, you know, into the future it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of Jimbo. He's just an icon in the waterfowl industry. If you don't know who Jim Ronquist is, then don't talk to
haven't
me.
lived.
Don't talk to me about waterfowl hunting. I could give two shits about your opinion on waterfowl hunting if you don't know who Jim Ronquist is. It's like, you know, saying you don't know who Jesus is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You had to go there.
like,
You
you
had
mean to
go
tell me
there.
you go to church on Sunday, but you don't know who Jesus is? Like, it's like you tell me you're going to hunt ducks in Stuttgart, but you don't know who Jim Ronquist is. Like, it's like one of those kind of deals, you know?
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, that he is a great duck caller. He's, you know, great for the industry. But one of the things that I love the most about Jimbo is that, you know, there's a lot of ego in the waterfowl space, especially. And maybe that's a lot of it has to do with the calling side. And he's a world champion duck caller. I mean, incredible.
One of the best in the world.
But he's still that down home, humble Southern boy guy who has no ego whatsoever.
Just an Arkansas
and
redneck.
just a good old boy who
That's all he is.
and
Yeah.
he will take on, like, if you don't know something or you're a little ignorant to something that he has some education on, he would be more than happy to fulfill you with all this information that he's got, because he just wants to pass it on. I just respect the hell out of that.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, he's awesome. And I think it'll be I think it's great to be partnered with Drake.
And it's a very reputable brand that's been around forever.
Forever.
I mean, one of the
Forever.
it's a staple gold standard in waterfowl apparel. So
Right.
we're thrilled to death to be partnered with them.
Mhm.
We're waiting for the apparel to show up. I guess it's coming in. It's being shipped direct to North Dakota tomorrow, so we won't have it for our first morning hunt. but
Hopefully it doesn't
we'll have
rain tomorrow morning.
Hopefully we'll have it the
You
next
just
day.
jinxed it. It's raining.
Yeah, probably. Also, we're partnering with a particular product in a space that we've never done before, but hearing protection. And we're excited to be partnered with Tetra Hearing, who has really come out with a really cool concept and just try to raise the bar in that space. And so, unfortunately, we weren't able to get the demos in time. They actually showed up at my doorstep. My Ring doorbell went off today at noon, and we were already in Iowa on our way up here. But we are thrilled and thankful to Tetra Hearing for partnering with us. But, all in all, in 10 years that we've been doing the show, we've been incredibly blessed to have amazing sponsors throughout the entire 10 years. I mean, you think about, like, since the beginning, Bass Pro, which has then become Bass Pro Cabela's, they've been with us since day one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had great sponsors. I mean,
all throughout. And
Yeah.
now we're getting new ones and, trying to promote some new companies that are coming out, try to help them build their brands, which also feels good. We got TriStar, as our shotgun sponsor now.
Kent Cartridge.
TriStar is everywhere. They got, they're in every single, retail store across America. But to maybe a lot of waterfowlers, they could potentially, it's a new brand because they've kind of revamped their whole deal. They got the new Viper G2 that's out. It's awesome gun.
Which
shot
we
it all
actually,
last
their
year.
waterfowl edition
Yeah,
that we helped
awesome.
them put together.
Yeah, and so to be able to help them, maybe touch a new, client base, to more waterfowl industry to compete with some of these bigger name brands. And Kent's been around forever. They've always had great shotgun shells. Like, one of my favorite loads ever was the Kent Fast Steel number 2, like the original one.
number ones.
With
Number
the-
ones.
Ones, oh,
Number
yeah.
ones.
Yeah, but the ones with the gray shell casing, the Kent number 2s.
The number ones.
Okay,
You want the
ones,
ones.
2s. We're talking one number.
Joe likes the 2s. That's
Like,
okay.
Just like the Kent Fast Steel number 2s, the OG ones were like
Ounce and a quarter.
awesome.
Yeah, they
awesome.
were.
But the new bismuth, we shot a lot of that. The new bismuth last year. We were shooting them geese in Emporia with those. And,
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't a lot of cripples. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, you're not sailing a lot.
No.
He kills them.
Absolutely.
Kills them.
Yeah, but
Deadest geese in 3 counties. Like, they ain't running off.
no.
Well,
Unless you're shooting at 'em.
And you know what?
sucker.
The shell also works I feel like we got the best of 3 different worlds when you combine the TriStar shotgun with the Kent cartridge ammunition and then the Carlson's
right.
choke tube.
It's-
And
right.
Logan and I and Nate and Alex, we've all had a chance to go out to Atwood, Kansas with Scott Carlson and pattern those shotguns and that ammunition, excuse me, through those cremator choke tubes, which, by the way, we have a Heartland Waterfowl edition choke tube on our website that is really cool. That's just a recipe for complete success.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
Doesn't
Yeah.
get much better.
Yeah.
The
And-
Godfather.
The
Right.
Godfather
No
choke
doubt.
tubes. He
No
really
doubt.
is.
As long as your barrel's not bent.
Hey, if
He'll
it's
bend
not,
it
he'll
back.
bend it for
He'll
you.
bend it back. That's for sure. And then the other one that just kind of comes off the top of my mind is Honda.
Right.
Honda,
dude.
our Pioneer 1000. That's
Where would
been
we
with
be
us.
without the buggy?
How many times?
Where would you be without the
That's
buggy?
true. That is very
I'd be
true.
a lot skinnier because I would have put on a lot more steps, dude. I would have put on a
Oh
lot
man,
more steps.
What was
know,
it, 2 years ago?
Save
You
my
were up here
ass.
guiding. It
Oh,
rained
so
every day.
wet. Oh, so wet. You couldn't get into any field. I mean, we were like humping decoys into fields, and y'all were coming back from Canada. You remember?
Yep.
Yeah, I dropped it off.
You
Remember?
remember?
in the
I
blue.
drove.
And you almost didn't want to
Fargo.
drive to come because you were
I
gonna
did.
have to like
The weather
be
was so
there
bad.
at 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
And weather was bad. And I was like, if you don't come get this, like you are
You're
really
dumb.
you're
Right.
a dumb person.
Y'all were trying to beat that storm out of Canada,
Yes.
and I drove to Grand Forks or Fargo and met
Fargo.
y'all just because you're like, I'm bringing the buggy back, and I don't need it again until we're coming back up here anyway. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not do this? And I was like,
Smartest thing
all
you
right,
ever did.
screw it. Getting in the truck, drove 2.5 hours to Fargo. I forget where, but
I thought it was Fargo.
But
No,
dude,
was
Was it Grand Forks?
Grand Forks.
Okay.
the next day, that morning after I picked up the buggy from y'all was when that front hit here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was snowing sideways. And I remember I was with Cole. Cole was hunting with me that day. We were sharing a group, and I was like, dude, you're a lot younger than I am, so whatever we can't haul on this buggy and I can't carry, you're going to have to hump out there because I'm not making 2 trips because I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it back to the approach to even find you, dude, because it was snowing like crazy. Sure enough, I drive out in the buggy with clients and all of our stuff, and Cole comes humping out with like shotguns. He had like everybody's shotguns like over his shoulder. It's like he appeared out of the abyss. Like, man, he might be lost out there. But sure enough, here he comes. And it was an insane hunt. But like, dude, if I wouldn't have came and got the buggy from y'all, we would have never even made that hunt. You know,
we pull that trailer with that Honda.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like we get to use it necessarily on every single hunt, but it has saved our tail.
And that's the thing too.
So many times.
Like being able to unload the buggy and then hook that trailer that you hauled it on right onto the buggy and be able to haul all your stuff out. That's huge for us.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that it has enough power and traction to be able to haul all of our stuff
without completely rutting up the farmer's field.
6-8 dudes, everybody packed in there, not getting stuck, not rutting stuff up. Yep. You know, like it's huge deal. You know,
the older you get, the more you appreciate it.
No,
for sure. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't have the Croft trailer, which we have the enclosed trailer and the utility trailer. So thanks to them. Of course, Mojo has been with us for many years. So thank you, Terry. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out. This is the first time we're doing this, so I'm not that prepared. Vortex Optics, yes, because I was looking at Joe's hat. I want to mention that because
shout out Vortex.
Oh my gosh, one of the things that I feel like has kind of separated us, and I'm probably going out on a limb saying this, but as far as how we tell our story as waterfowl hunters is that we really put a huge emphasis on the scouting side of it. We don't just rely on outfitters to do all the work for us, and we would not be as successful as we are on the scouting side if we didn't have a good pair of optics with Vortex. And one of the best things about them is the freaking lifetime guarantee.
No doubt.
And who hasn't in this group used that lifetime guarantee, right?
I know I have.
I've used it a couple times.
Probably a couple times, exactly.
Y'all still got that warranty?
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, I think it's about time that we probably wrap this up, but this is the very first episode of the Behind the Blind of the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube
but
channel.
A lot more coming.
Hey, we're going to have more coming tomorrow, right? Yep. Because we got a hunt tomorrow morning, and it's 11:18. We got to get to bed and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So be sure to check back if you haven't already done it. Subscribe to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. Hit that notifications bell, and then make sure you come back tomorrow to see how tomorrow's hunt does, how we perform. And then come back and we'll share with you.
My Lord, I hope it's a good one.
I hope it's a good one. I hope we just bang them up.
Here's to season 10, boys.
I hope we just bang them up.
Hey, thanks for watching.
But just take a look around you. You're in the middle.